Welcome everyone, today we have a new video for Diablo 4 in gearing your gears. Looking behind me, hopefully you can see it, so you can see me in my head. Yes, we got a legendary on gambling. So what I want to show you guys is all the different methods of getting your legendary pieces for your build and also for your gears as fast as you can. And I did this for my barbarian. Notice I'm crafting codexes, I'm gambling for certain gears which I don't have, and this works wonderfully. So I want to show you guys the fastest ways of getting your gears with looting in the dungeons and also with gearing with gambling and also gearing with codex. And this video will focus on this: what places you can get legendaries and how should you farm them for your build in the beta. So here I have some notes for you guys, and let's go through this in the video. Now just to show you guys my current status with my gears, not only do I have my legendaries, they're actually pretty good. This one increased my basic attack speed by 56%, which is a massive gain in resource, and this one increased my core skill, next weapon mastery skill by 200% as I use my core skill and other skills. So a lot of good ones, and if you guys are interested, the next video I'll show you guys my barbarian bleeding build. I happen to roll into a lot of stats for barbarian bleeding, and I'll be going with berserk and barbarian bleeding, and it's very powerful. So stay tuned on the next video. Now let's focus on this video, shall we? So what we have is, we have some notes I want to share with you guys, and just, it's probably easier to go with Notepad, right? We're back to Notepad. So the fastest way of fully gearing any of your build to legendary gears with all different stats. And just to show you guys, they're not the same stats, they're all quite different. Now I do not have this particular weapon stats fully maxed out because the golden gear here is not the right one. So just keep that in mind. But overall, yeah, my gear is pretty happy. So I've been farming for the past 2 hours, and together with all the disconnect and whatnot, I think this is a really good method. To give you guys a summary, right away, once you get after level 20, what you want to do is you want to start looking into clearing the dungeons. So let me show you guys the dungeons over here, and you can see some of the dungeons I have cleared, and there are still some of those I have not cleared. Looking to do the first clear of most of the dungeons, and what that means is each of the dungeons should average drop 1 to 2 legendaries. Sometimes this can be 0, so do keep in mind. As you can see over here, I got a helm over here, and this is one of the dungeons, and this is another of the dungeons I got a pants. So what's going to happen is those drops of legendaries in the dungeons after level 20 will be the essential items you'll be looking for. And because it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to clear a dungeon, you do want to clear as many of them as you can, and you keep all the legendaries you loot, even though they're a little low level. By the time you get to level 24, 25s, you would have saved enough of the legendaries and also golden items for almost completing your pieces of gear. And this is if you have average luck. So after about 2 hours, you should have maybe half of your gear that is legendary, and hopefully there will be different variety of legendary. So notice that this legendary does have the duplicate with the other legendary I have, which seems to have a better upgrade. So this one is the Iron Skin Grind Unstoppable, and we also had a similar one that was on a different piece. So that was a little unfortunate. I'll be replacing this one very soon. And I do have some really powerful combos, especially the immunity battle. It's actually pretty fun. So after that, what you want to do is you collect all the golden ray items to craft for your codex. Now we'll be looking for the available codex and also legendary aspects from NPCs. So coming over to this NPC over here, this is the Jewler. Oh no, this is the Occultist, not the Jewler. So coming over to the Occultist, you have two choices. One is you can be crafting legendary codex from the codex you have obtained, and you click for your class. Unfortunately for Barbarian, there is no offensive ones for Barbarian, very sad. And the second option, of course, is to be crafting your aspects using the ones you extract from legendaries. And this is why I wanted you to farm a little legendaries at the start. And you can extract some of the essence like you see on this video, which I'll go back a little bit. So here I'll show you a little bit over here. So here I have found a really good axe. And this axe is crafted. So I took away the essence of this axe, which gives me about 55% attack speed for the two-handed weapon, which is a big plus for the resource gain. Very fast attack now. And what I did was I also combined this with some other good ones, like basic skill reduce damage by 25%. Isn't that better, right? So all of a sudden I always take 25% less damage and I attack like 56% faster. I've got to share you guys the build next. So then you'll be crafting. So what you do is you come to the Jewler, come to the second slot, So come to this slot and you slot in the legendary, and once you select extract, it will cost you a bit of gold, so keep that in mind. I think the lower level items will cost you less gold. The lower items I had here, notice that this one cost me about 9,000 gold. The other one was currently costing me about 15,000 because it's a high level item, right? So you extract it, and then you'll be getting the legendary aspect on the aspect category of your inventory. Come to aspect category, and then you can craft the ability of the special legendary affix onto the weapon of your choice, the golden weapon of your choice. What you want to craft the golden weapon is currently, or previously, my golden weapon was item level 340, and this is looted from level 25. And then just before you craft, I do have a big warning. So come back over here. The warning over here is you want to reroll your stats affix on the weapon before you craft. So what do I mean by that? So come over here to enchant section. You can throw in a weapon, and then you can enchant this weapon's particular stat into something else. I'll show you guys. I have enchanted this weapon into strength. It was previously something else. So now if I want to enchant and change a particular affix of the legendary, it will cost me a Fiend rolls because I turn it into legendary. So before you craft the golden item into legendary, make sure you perfect the one of the stats rolled into what you wanted, then convert that into legendary. I did this the other way around. It was a little late to change it, and I only realized this much later. So do keep in mind. So just to give you guys an example of what I mean by rerolling the stats of the golden gear before you go craft into legendary, notice here you can go to the last category of enchant item, put the golden items in, and pick the stat that you don't really want. Here I kind of think I don't really need the lucky hit, just because, you know, it's not very stable, right? Only 1.5%. So I click into this and I click enchant, and this will give you an option of, you know, different options. Here I get critical strike damage, I get 13 strength, and also no change, so you keep whatever you had previously. It's actually quite good. So I picked the strength just for a little more damage as an example. I plan to replace this gear, that's why it's not legendary yet. So coming back to our notes, now that you have enough codex from legendaries from farming the dungeons, and also the codex enough of the legendary pieces, what you want to do is you want to really come over here, use the legendary of the crafting section. You want to insert the golden gears in and to see what availability of offense stats you can get, and also what availability of the crafting of the codex aspects you can get from extracting items. You really need to differentiate. Some of those works on gears, which is, you know, equipment that's defensive. Some of them only works on offensive. Some of them can always work on the accessories, which is very flexible. Notice my accessory have the berserk and bleeding, and here we also get rend and getting more fury. Those are very good for my build, for the bleeding build. So once you have noticed that what is that you have and what you can combine, then look for the rest of your pieces through gambling. Now the gambling NPC is over here. I'll quickly show you guys. So the gambling NPC is located over here with lizards and on the main map. So here you can see our replay is on me gambling for the pence. Notice I used the method I told you guys to do with all the gears, but I wasn't recording, you know, fully properly. So I thought I'd just speak it to you guys, right? Notice that my pence was the only piece that was left over, and together with the weapon, I already know what I want for the weapon. And you just saw in the example over here. So I can go to the gambling section, and you can see I have about 500 of the gambling shards. Now, it's quite cheap to gambling for smaller pieces like the boots, the pants. 25, you know, 40, 25. So the cheaper pieces you kind of want to gamble for those. The more expensive pieces like the weapons, you can craft for those. And of course, look at my example, guys. So you want to see in my inventory here where my mouse is. You can see that I've been getting the blue magical item and blue magical item. So it is not guaranteed that you'll get a legendary, but if you have about 500, it's pretty likely you can get a good one. So here, it took me 4 tries on this goal, which is quite lucky, but I was expecting to take 10 or 20 tries. This is why I save about 500. I just want 1 or 2 pieces from gambling because I want to gamble the cheaper pieces. The gloves, the boots, the pants, they're okay. And the rings seems okay too, but I had enough rings. So don't try to gamble weapons. Those are much more expensive, much harder to get. And finally guys, after you have kind of mostly set up your pieces, what I do recommend is if you have the spare gold as your farm in the dungeons. Initially I was on 100,000 gold, I decided to upgrade my weapon from item level 340 to plus 10. So I did this a few times. I'll show you guys in the replay as well. It's actually quite expensive. Where did it go? So where is the crafting? So yeah, here is the blacksmith. So it started, I'll just show you guys the cost for upgrading the weapons. You can do similarly for your amulets and also accessories as well. I'll show you guys the location. So here I'm upgrading the weapon. What's going to happen is, notice those will be the stats you get upgrading. You get a little bit of damage per second, and the stats in the Affix will be upgraded. This is why I tell you guys to roll those Affixes while they're in the golden stage. Very important. So here you'll be spending your 15,000 and 30,000. So I spent about 45,000 crafting, getting this one to, I guess, 2 stars of the legendary. It does cost incredibly higher, especially in gold. So I think 2 stars is okay for the main weapon, and I might go for other ones with better stats. Now if you're wondering, you can find certain NPCs and crafters with different things, and always come over to the enchant to make sure you change the stats of the golden gears before you craft them into legendary. And finally, you can come over here to the Jewler just to show you guys where it is on the map. So I'll show you guys the replay I have on the Jewler. So the Jewler is to perfect your build. What you can do is you can throw in your accessories, and those can also be upgraded with gold, and this will give you a stat boost. Notice that this is a low level accessory, but guys, this bubble is actually incredibly good. It makes me invulnerable for 7.5 seconds. I need to show you guys on the next build. So hopefully this helps you into getting all your gears into place. Now likely if you're playing a class, you have more chance of dropping the class items, and here I have a lot of legendaries for the same class, and this barbarian build is almost perfect. And the next video guys I'll be preparing is to show you my beta barbarian build. Took me about 5 hours leveling and 2 hours farming, together with a lot of disconnects in between. So this is why it took me a little longer to make the video. So hopefully you enjoy this one. Start farming for the gears and test all of your build for the beta. So this is like a mini end game for the level 25. Now before you go, and if you guys didn't know, we have a new YouTube channel. So I just started a YouTube channel with my girlfriend yesterday, and you can see this is only 12 hours old, this YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and check out the behind the scenes and also fun clips and also more stories about us. And then you get to know me a little more personally instead of just reading the news and also the games, right? So I want to share a little bit more with you guys. So make sure you check this channel out if you're interested about Matt and also Uni. She's really funny too, and she's really shy. So I want to give her a surprise and do a shout out for the new channel to get some subscribers. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.